Okay. What's up, y'all? My bad. I had to get myself together real quick. Just trying to wrap up some stuff. Hey, you guys. Back up a little bit because I always feel like I'm right on y'all. Hello, you guys. Really quickly. Hey, Kim. Hey, Mrs. Cheek. Hey, Majestic Vlogs. Hey, everybody in here. Y'all hit a like for your girl because it's free. Don't cost you nothing. How is everybody doing? Where is everybody from? Drop it. The introduction. Um, hello. Hello, you guys. So, I'm going to make this quick because, just need to put this out there. But wanted to, Georgia in the house. Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Used to live there. Loved it while I was there. Hey, I'm from Colorado. That's where I'm at right now anyway. Calgary. I want to go to Canada so bad. I hear it's beautiful. Oh, one day. It's on my list. Take a look around. Where do you think I'm at? Yeah. Canada. Are you from Canada? Oh. I do not. I'm not having any other babies. No more babies. I'm good. No more kids. You follow me since I lived in Vegas? Stop it. Really? Oh. All right. Cool. Oh, my nail's coming off. That's not gonna work. Let me see if I have some nail glue here. I do. I usually keep some with me. I love that. Thanks for watching. Anybody who's watched me since, anybody who's watched me for any amount of years is a real MVP. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because if you see me in Vegas, did you see me at my worst? Well, I wouldn't say that was my worst, but I did go through a lot of shit when I was in Vegas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I did call my husband before this. He is in the middle of working, so he has not gotten back to me yet. But when he does call me, I'm gonna have to get up off this live stream, baby, because I wanted to tell him first. I wanted to call and let him know. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, once he's done doing what he's doing, he'll probably call me back. So if that happens while I'm on this live stream, I'm going to have to end this live stream. Priorities. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Ashton said, been following you since Vegas. A lot of y'all have been following me since Vegas. I love that for us. I love that for us. Thank you. That's why I love your name, Strong Mommy Chrissy. Thank you. I know I definitely have earned my title, haven't I? I definitely have. I definitely have. Y'all, I had to run out the house because I was running late for my meeting, and I'm just realizing I really should have did something with my edges, pushed it back or something, did a little something. I literally pulled my thing off and left because I was like, I'm running late. It's okay. It's good enough for now. Need to do something with my edges though, because I think my lace is getting a little raggedy. It's okay. Overall, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's giving what it's supposed to give. And also I need to put some mousse or something in it because I have so many flyaways right now. But I choose you over food. Don't do that. You always eat first, babe. Always eat first. It's like But you, all y'all have been following me. Okay, since before Vegas. Okay, now if you've been following me since before Vegas, you guys are the real OGs. Because before Vegas I was out here. Then we've been through some things together. You guys have seen me at peak, like not even at peak, at pre-peak, prime. I don't know, whatever noob. I don't know. Whatever the before you. Okay, y'all get it. Y'all have known me and seen me through before you've seen me at almost every stage of life at this point. If you follow me before Vegas, you have seen me at almost literally every point of my adulthood. You've seen tons of children be born. I had a lot of kids between before Vegas and then Vegas. And then if you guys are keeping up with me till now at this point, listen, finger claps for y'all. You are the real MVPs for real, because y'all been putting up with me for this long. Baby, listen. More power to you, honey. Say. Popping out kids like popcorn. I mean, I was. That's how I ended up with 9 of them. I'm watching you when you was pregnant with Cash. Wow. Cash just turned 11. That's 12 years ago. If you've been hanging on for 12 years, somebody send you a medal. Like, really? Like, I'm so serious. YouTube should do that. Like, for real OG, like, subscribers and viewers, like, you guys should get something for just being around. But thank you. Thank you guys for being here and watching me and the kids grow and glow. The kids are doing good. Kimyata, thank you for asking. Since 2018, hey. I know the other 2 mothers through you. You're the OG. Thank you. Everybody who started here first, feel like for your girl. Anywho, what was I gonna say? And then, yeah. So anywho, what was I gonna say? I forgot what the hell I was talking about. But, and then Kim, just let the comments roll. There's not that many people in here right now. These people were just weird. It just helps my algorithm. Let them talk they shit or be weird. I don't know. Unless they start spamming really hard or something. But, oh, I forgot they have that Q&A sticker. I think that is so cute. I'm going to do that. Not today, because I don't have that type of time. But I'm going to do that Q&A sticker. They have like this new, I don't know if you guys have seen them, this new Q&A sticker where you can kind of like, people can respond to it and ask questions. It reminds me of IG. Like, it reminds me of IG. But yeah. Thanksgiving plans. I'll probably just cook. I mean, I cook every year. That's the plan, to still cook this year. I mean, it's the plan every single year. I'm going to make food and we're going to eat. That's it. Let's see. So they're super loyal. I see a lot of the same names in the chat for a long time. I know. I do have some loyal followers, and thank y'all. I love y'all for that. Why am I so dressed up? This is not dressed up, babe. I got on a cardigan, a little sweater, and then, oh no, I hate this. The only thing about knitted stuff is that it messes up. It snags on stuff. But, got my little sweater on, some slacks. That's it. Y'all are funny. Okay, anyway, you guys. So I'm gonna bring this up and talk about this really quickly so I can move on with my day, because I have so much to do. Oh my gosh. So the title of this live stream is oh my gosh, what is going on? This stuff. I didn't have time to deal with none of this. Okay. But so the title of this live stream is "Don't Play With Me When It Comes to My Kids" or something like that, or "Advocate for Your Children," and I mean that. So, without saying too much, or without telling all my business or my kids' business, I will just say this: advocate for your kids. And I feel like as I have went and navigated this process. Okay, let me back up. We are a Black family, right? Um, and we live in a nice area. We have, access to, okay, school district and, things like that. The area in which I live in is predominantly non-minority. And that's the nicest way I can say predominantly white. But non-minority predominantly. So then in turn, I live in a predominantly non-minority school district. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. So this is not my first time dealing with this. I live in Colorado, and it doesn't really matter where you are unless you are in the hood or something like that, where they try to push a lot of minorities, Mexican, Black, they try to push us to certain types of spaces, like try to put us there. But if you live in other areas of Colorado, and I'm sure this is like this in every state. Every state has a ghetto. Every state has a hood. Every state has whatever. But specifically for Colorado, like I said, I always keep my head on a swivel for prejudice, and this can happen anywhere. But I always know that it happens, and I expect it to happen more so when you are in a predominantly non-minority area. And honestly, and this is not a good thing, sometimes that can lead to problems or issues, especially when you're dealing with the school system. Now, again, just like yesterday when we talked a bit about politics, we can go there when it comes to the education system, the U.S. education system, which, by the way, overall is trash compared to other countries and how they model their education system and how it works, right? But there are, you have your pros and your cons, you have your good and your bad, and your bad and your good when you're anywhere, right? Specifically, what I have noticed is that when you are a Black family who is in a predominantly non-minority district or neighborhood, city or state, you are going to face bias. You are going to face pushback. You are going to face passive aggression. You are going to face prejudice, fucking prejudice. And I always keep my head on a swivel. There are a few things here that are something that I just have to I have to get this out, right? When you are a Black woman, all right, and for a long time, I was a single Black woman living in a predominantly non-minority space, area, state, city, whatever, district, with a lot of kids. If we back up and just take that information of me being a Black woman in the US with a lot of kids, already I am put into a statistic, or I should be. My children should, although they have different dads, which is a statistic as well, whatever. We can get into that other time. But although, what I'm trying to say is, when you do not fit the statistic, you become a problem, right? They're threatened by you. And this is at work. This is in your neighborhood. This is with your neighbors, the mailman, the grocery clerk. This is with the school system. This is everywhere. And I hate to say that. I really fucking do. But when you are a black woman, it is different for black men. They fight their own injustice. But I'm talking, because I'm a woman, I've never lived a life as a man. When you are a black woman in a space where you are the minority, which is a lot of places, you do receive discrimination of sorts. And that doesn't always happen. It's not with everybody. I won't get on here and lie to y'all and say it's with everybody, but what I will say is that it's something that's prevalent and it happens all the time. So I do keep my head on a swivel for when I do feel like it's happening. Now, another thing that I will say is that I am definitely so far from the angry black woman, because we also get categorized as that. If we receive injustice or discrimination or bias or passive aggression or any type of prejudice, then, and if we speak up, or if we are, vocal about what's being done, we are automatically considered angry black woman. And I resent that, because that's not necessarily true. But I also want to sit here and say that this is a trickle down effect. That's what I call it, like, personally. And you guys can, it's probably some other term for it that's appropriate, but that's what I call it, because that's what it feels like. When I feel like you can only be so nice and so blind and so like, yeah, I peeped that, but I'm not about to play this card of being angry and or whatever. I'm not going to give them a reason to blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. You can only do that for so long before at some point you're like, I am not going to do this any longer. You know what I'm saying? I've been nice. I've been like, okay, I peep your whatever, but I'm not going to necessarily take it there with you until it gets to a point to where I'm left no choice. Okay. And again, this part of my life, I completely keep private, not the bias or prejudice, because that's, everybody knows that black people go through that. Okay. But, or minorities. I won't just say black people, but I'm black, so I'm gonna say black people. Okay. But I had an experience recently where I had that happen. It was like the trickle down effect. It was like, okay, I peeped this. Passive aggression, bias, maybe some what did I just say? Prejudice, maybe a little bit of all of that, but we deal with that every day. Unfortunately, we know how to handle that, navigate that, and whatever, document everything, all of the things, right? All of the things. It got to the point to where I had a specific situation come up where I was advocating for my children. And the thing about it is, you have to know the law. You have to know the law for your state. And it's important to know that. And if you don't fucking know, don't send your kids to public school. That's all I got to say. I don't give a fuck how great their ratings are, how wonderful, how friendly they are, and how whatever. Know the fucking law. Because if you don't, they're going to get over. And I'm going to tell you why. They're underfunded, they're understaffed, and sometimes they just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's sometimes it is a situation where we just don't have enough resources, or we don't have enough staff, or we can't whatever. And sometimes, like I said, they just don't give a fuck. So when you see something, say something, but know your fucking rights as a parent. And when they call and they say, hey, X, Y, and Z, you do not necessarily have to say yes to that. You should actually probably say no until you have done your research, look through all your resources, sent it through the whatever you have to do. Don't make any rash decisions because they are understaffed, they are underfunded, and although sometimes I feel like they have their best, they have your children's best interests at heart, sometimes they fucking don't because they're tired. They're overstaffed. Overworked. Their caseload is high at all of these schools, and they don't have enough to give to everybody. So then it starts to show. It starts to show in how they communicate, how they provide resources, how they support. And I personally had to have a meeting, and I called the meeting, and with some of the staff from my kids' school. And sorry, there's something on one of these hairs is like on my face somewhere, and I had to literally sit down and say, are we a fucking team? I didn't cuss. I'm cussing because this is us. We're talking, we're girlfriends, right? But I had to literally say, are we a team, or are you working against me? This is not okay. And again, trickle down effect. I had communicated, I've sent emails, I've made phone calls, I've tried to clarify, I've asked, I've pleaded, I've begged, I've been nice. And now I'm starting to feel a sense of passive aggression because I'm not going to lie to you guys. White people don't, and I'm not mad at y'all, okay, if you're on here. Some Caucasian people, or just people in general, do not like when they think you're telling them how to do their job. If you're a minority on this live stream, or if you watch this back, you can attest to what I'm saying. This is an experience that we live every day, so I ain't got to sit up here and try to make nobody believe it. If you are a minority in the U.S., you understand where the fuck I'm coming from. If you... Sometimes they listen and it's like, great, we're a team. You listened to my concern, you addressed it, now we're good. We're going to work together on a plan. We're going to go forward with that. But I feel like there are times, maybe dare I say more often than not, where you meet resistance. And that's where you lose me, because I'm kind, I'm professional, I'm nice. I don't ever bring the angry black woman into a space where my kids have to thrive, because that's not conducive. If you come into a store and you're a bitch to an employee, they do not want to help you. If you go into the school system and you're a bitch to them, they do not want to help you. There is a difference, though, between being firm and letting motherfuckers know what you will and will not accept, and being a bitch and being rude and being hostile. There is a difference. And I think that that's where the angry black woman stigma comes from, is that if a black woman speaks up and is firm in any space, because we're not allowed to have a voice a lot of the times, right? We're automatically hostile. And like I said, I resent that because that's not necessarily true. But again, how nice can a bitch be? And I hate to say it like that, but that's just me talking to girlfriends. That's just us talking. How nice can I fucking be? You know, how much can I let you try and fuck me over before I say, hold on a motherfucking second, bitch? No. Right idea, wrong bitch. Now, I don't mean to call myself a bitch, but like I said, we're girlfriends. We're just talking on FaceTime at this point. This is how I talk to my friends and family. Right idea, wrong bitch. Okay? You play experiment on somebody else's kids, not mine. And I keep my head on a motherfucking swivel. People can say whatever they want about me. They do, they will, and they have. Okay? But one thing a motherfucker can never say is that I will not be there for my children when it comes to it. I will not be, if I don't know, I'm not signing shit. Fuck you. Fuck your paper. Let me figure out. Let me do some research. Then if I do the research and I'm with it, I'm with it. I'm on live. I'll be in there in a second. Then if I'm with it, I'm with it. You know, let's sign it. Let's put it in, whatever. Or let's make that change or whatever, right? However, you will not force me to do anything. You will not try and back me into a corner and feel like there's no other way. Say, for instance, one of my kids, I will not say any names because it's not necessary, but one of my kids has had tardies, not from me, just because they talk too much. These kids talk too much. So from getting to class, they run in their mouth, they're being tardy, and the school, they will get involved and say, hey, listen, they're being tardy to class. At this point, we're going to have to start having some sort of, repercussions. And this is not, I will say that this example that I'm about to give you is not the reason for this live stream or even my main point. So don't read into it too much. I just want to give an example of me as a parent and how sometimes you hit a wall with admin, and I know they can only do so much, and so I'm very understanding, but at a point in time you have to understand that you have rights as a parent to say no, 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 and I think that's important for parents to know, especially if you are a single parent, especially if you are overworked, especially if you do have multiple children, because it's hard to be a parent out here. It's hard to make sure everybody gets everything that they need. And sometimes if the school calls you and it sounds good, you're like, okay, sounds like that makes sense, But then you have to sit back and say, even if that makes sense in the moment, maybe you should just say, hold on a second. Let me get back to you. Give me a couple of days. Hold off on that. Do your fucking research, because these people are just as overwhelmed, overworked, underpaid, understaffed as you are at home. And that's not your fault. And it's not your kid's fault. But you have to adjust. You see what I'm saying? So, and sometimes to do your research and to advocate properly for your child, it takes time. Especially, I'm not a lawyer or an attorney. I don't know Colorado State law like the back of my hand. I did not go to law school. I don't know all of the, whatever. So sometimes you have to do your fucking research. I'm like, who is this guy? I think he's at my numbers. Blaze, I'm on live stream. You're gonna have to wait a minute, okay? You and Onyx. So anyway. So back to my my thing. My main point, okay? So I got a phone call, and they were like, hey, Kingston's been tardy. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say his name, but it's okay. He's been tardy because Kingston he's a Leo. He's like me, and he really does, he chats. He's popular. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bruh, I tell him this too. I'm like, you got to get to class. I'm like, I can't. And I tell my kids too. I hold my kids accountable. This is the whole thing, right? But today I'm focusing on just the admin side of it. But the kids too. Hold these motherfucking kids accountable. Okay? Because sometimes they're giving these people a hard time for no motherfucking reason. And I understand that too. But what I'm saying is, he chats, he was tardy. And she was like, yeah, at this point we got to kind of do ISS. But for me as a parent, I think ISS is counterproductive. That's my personal model for how I think things should or should not go, because he's doing nothing in a room all day, isolated from everybody, and it's kind of like prison. And I know it's supposed to be not fun. I said I was on a live stream. Hold on. He's like, can we go to the store and get candy and a Slurpee? I'm like, you just had Halloween. No, we've got bags of candy in the closet. Not gonna happen. So anyway, I have something against ISS, and school suspension is what it means if you guys don't know. And I have something against that because I feel like it pulls them away from instruction time. And most of these kids cannot afford to miss instruction time. And I understand discipline, like a disciplinary action, but there are multiple different ways to have a disciplinary action that does not involve pulling them from needed instruction. They need to be in class. And so I told her, okay, listen, give me some time. I'm going to come up with a better plan, because I don't feel like pulling him out of class is actually the first should be something that we're doing right now at this point, because he needs to be in class. All these kids need to be in class. So she's like, okay, and I told her I'd get back to her on that, because I want something that's going to be curated for my son. Yes, we're going to follow your policies. Yes, there will be a disciplinary action, but as his custodial parent, I have the above say. I am above you. I'm sorry, I am. He came out of me. I am above you. We will follow your protocol, but it may not look just like you think it needs to look. It's going to be curated for my child. And that's the thing that people have to understand, is that you do have a right to do that. You do not have to just say yes to everything that they're offering. And I do understand. And that's why I don't sign shit unless it's actually something that's a legally binding document, because then you're roped into saying then you're roped into being like, well, you agreed to this, you signed it, so you have to follow. I don't do that. You won't catch me signing a motherfuck thing. Okay? I don't do that. My kids they'll have the kids sign it too. Don't fucking sign shit. They ask you to sign something, call me. We're not signing fucking shit unless we know what's going on and you get the permission from me to sign things, because they will get you like that too. Anyway, that's just a slight example. That's not really what I'm talking about in this live stream though. But I say all this to say is that whether you're a minority or not, please do your research. Please know your rights as parents when it comes to the school system. You are not at the hands of whatever the fuck they tell you. And that is so, so, so important, because they are doing a disservice to our children every fucking day. And a lot of the times, parents are so over capacity with our own shit. I'll be the first one to say, I have so much going on. I have 9 children. Everybody has something going on every day. If it's not an appointment, it's a meeting, or they've got sports, or they've got assessments, or they've got this and that. And it's a lot to keep up with, not to mention my own personal stuff that I have going on. And then, just as a household, it's a lot for parents to keep up with. You just have to take the time to say, not right now. Thank you for telling me this, or thank you for bringing this to my attention. Give me 48 hours and I'll get back to you with my decision. And sometimes that's met with pushback. Like I said, sometimes they're going to be like, well, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I'm not the parent to fuck with when it comes to that, in a nice way. I'm always going to be like, well, I completely understand. I need to review this with my whoever, my advocate, my attorney, my whoever, ChatGPT. I don't fucking know. Somebody, anybody. I need to do my research. And respectfully, I just ask for some time. They have to give that to you. But I'm just saying, because I was just recently in a situation with the district here, one of the districts in my area, that was quite concerning and was completely outside of protocol. And had I not been an advocate for my kids, had I not advocated, they would have gotten away with that. And now they won't, because I advocated. And I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I still have a lot to learn. But I learned the hard way that a lot of these things that these schools are doing are illegal, or they're not following what's written in their protocol that they're supposed to be following, and things like that. So I say all this because it came up in my life. I know it's going to come up in somebody else's life, or somebody else that comes across this is either going through it or going to go through it at some point. And this is just your friendly reminder to just, if you don't already, just double check, fact check everything. Because, when I brought some of my concerns to some of the admin for one of the kids' schools, it was met with kind of the passive aggression type of resistance that's like, oh, this black bitch gonna come up in here try to tell us how to do our job. Now, I'm not saying that's what they said. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that's just how it felt. Very dismissive, very much, we can't do that. Very much, no. Very much, oh, you think you finna, And so, that's why I say, nice try, wrong bitch. Because then I love sending emails. I'm gonna send an email to everybody. I'm gonna send an email to every fucking body. And by the time I'm sending emails, everybody gonna know who the fuck I am. First name basis. Okay. So, but I just say to say, like, and honestly, everything's been handled now, everything's smoothed out. And I had to, but I had to be heard. And I had to go there and let people know that I'm not to be fucked with, but in the most professional capacity that I could possibly do, and say, hey, listen, are we going to have a problem? Because if so, I would hate to see that happen, but we definitely can handle this in a more official capacity. And that's paperwork they don't want to deal with. That's meetings they don't want to deal with. That's, things that I guarantee you they don't want to deal with. So then they kind of get it together, and that aggressiveness kind of falls back a little bit, and they start understanding that you are just going to be here and you're going to be heard, and what you need is going to be, it's going to be listened to. Because I will not, when it comes to my kids, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm going to go to the ends of the earth for mine. So anyway, I just say all that to say, like I said, you guys, this is your reminder that if you come across anything, and like I said, with the government shutdown and with everything that's happening in politics right now, I don't know where the state of our education system is going. I don't know where the state of our economy is going. Right now, it all looks like it's going down the toilet, but just advocate for your family in any way possible. And I'm just all facets, just keep your head on a fucking swivel. You know, there are other things that I could definitely bring up, but I'm just not going to do that right now. But for the basis of this live stream, just keep y'all head on a swivel. It's getting crazy out here, and I pray that everybody, through the rest of this administration survives. That we all survive. You know what I'm saying? It's getting crazy. They didn't cut the flights. You know what I'm saying? They didn't cut people's stamps and government assistance. I don't know what's going on with insurance. I just pray that everybody is safe, healthy, and fed through the rest of this, because this is definitely something that is crazy. Let's just put it like that. You look like Laura from Cat's Eye. I'll have to look that up. I don't know what it is. I just heard on the news that they are giving us November EBT. Okay, great. I did hear something about that. I read something, I think it was at the Shade Room or somebody. I got glue on my finger. I heard something on the Shade Room. I think it was, maybe it was somewhere else, but somewhere on social media. And they were saying that it's like disaster relief, kind of. That's what don't quote me, bitch. Okay. Do your own research. But I heard it was kind of like disaster relief, and because of the type of system that's going to have to be implemented to push out those benefits to like 40 million Americans, or take, that it could so counterproductive. Anyway, I know, Kim, it's crazy. The court just said Trump needs to give us November EBT totality. Okay. No full amount. Okay. I don't blame you, Chris. You got to be there for your children. Nobody else will. Exactly. You definitely have to advocate for these kids, and sometimes you have to push. Right now I have Junebug and Onyx in tutoring, and we had to push the envelope for that because they just needed a little extra, just a little. But they just needed a little extra help, and it just was kind of hard to get that ball rolling. It's just like, I mean, I didn't have to push that hard, but it was a little bit of a push. Like, we had to definitely request it. They did not offer, And we had to definitely be like, yeah, we think they need a little extra help. Let's get them that. And then, they were like, well, we'll see. And then they eventually kind of like let them in. So it takes a lot of you seeing that if there is any sort of anything that your child needs within the school system, sometimes you have to fight a little bit, and that's sad. It really is, but don't give up, and definitely don't be that lay down in the street type parent where it's like, okay, well, that's what they said they have to do, or this is all they said they can do, because I guarantee you it's not true. I guarantee you there's always options. You just have to do your research and be confident enough to be like, hold on a second, fuck no, I don't like that. No, I don't think we are going to do that. So anyway, I'm going to call my sister back and talk to her, and I'm going to figure out what I'm doing for dinner and stuff like that. But I just wanted to come and chat with you guys if I have anything on my mind. I feel like, why not go live and talk about it? Let's chat. Okay. We're just girlfriends here. Okay. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. I think that what time is it? I'm going to try. I have a vlog that's literally done. All I have to do is add music. If I can get that up by like 5 o'clock, I will. If I can't, tomorrow.